All right. Call the meeting to order at 5 o'clock. September 3rd meeting of the Water Commission. Had a chance to review the minutes. John, did you have any comments on the minutes?
No, nope.
Dylan, you had one?
Yeah, I got one small typo, so I'll make a motion to table the minutes to the next meeting.
Since we don't have Kerry or
Okay,
Kelly here to change them.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, warrants have been signed. No abatements or refunds this month?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. And James Hoyt is not here to update us on the projects tonight, but there's some stuff going on. I think you can, when we get to the different
Yeah.
projects, as far as what's going on. Go down to, well, actually, there was something I'd asked to have added on that didn't get added, so we'll talk about it at the end. We don't have to vote on it anyway. Old business, the appeal, there's nothing to talk about. Stations 1, 2, and 4. Wayne, what's going on?
All right, so I haven't heard anything out of them on that, which is unusual. I know they're working on it, but it's, I know that they were supposed to talk within their team to make sure the siting was where they wanted it sited. And that was the last I've heard from them.
They haven't gotten, because I know they, after the last meeting, they talked to DEP about potential extending, and
Right.
that one might be going behind, but they haven't asked for,
They haven't asked for anything.
shifting anything else?
more, no.
Okay. So it must just be still, they're still in process.
Yep.
All right, Station 3.
So obviously our PFAS results went back to 0. Looking in the filter bed, there was less, like the top was cleaner. There were a few blobs that were still there. I'm gonna open it up in another week or so, just because we can, and look in to see what the top looks like. It's still a mystery where that all came from. We have no idea.
Do we have new media in there?
No, we're running on the existing media.
And it's at 0?
Yep, and it went back to 0.
Oh, so did you hear about what, they did take a core sample,
Yeah, I saw
and it
it.
was all full. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, the whole bed was full of that stuff.
Well, it's not full, it's just stained all the way down, but on the surface, there were blobs of what I imagine must be manganese. They sent it off for analysis, I haven't heard back.
Okay.
But there were less than the last time when we looked in and you saw it, it kind of looked like moss growing on the top. You know, it wasn't that color, but the top was covered. When we opened it up this past time to do the sampling, you saw the media, you didn't see anything else, and then in the back corner were some of the black blobs which I grabbed for samples.
So it might just be it was physically blocked, but it wasn't using up the space, actually.
Right,
using
it
up.
might have
The media
covered-
wasn't being used up, it was just being blocked.
Right, it might have been
from
short circuiting down the sides of the tank.
Yeah. That would basically be the best news we could have. 'Cause
Right.
then that's just an operational thing.
And they're in there, they came today to begin doing their sampling and understanding the plant. They'll come back again on Thursday, that's the next time we're gonna backwash.
Okay.
So they'll come back for that.
And they do, so we're into that sampling program that they were talking about.
Yeah, I don't think what we discovered on our own is Brendan sampled after a backwash immediately. And when the thing, you know, it does the backwash and then eventually it does a final rinse and then it goes to the system. When it switches over to the system, the water's still tinged. So what we feel is there needs to be a longer delay between switching the PFAS off and back online.
And we probably would have never noticed it because that gets mixed out in the system, but now that it's going right into the PFAS tank,
Right.
it's all getting picked up right
Yeah.
on the top of the media.
Yep.
All right. No, that's,
It still doesn't, why this blobs wouldn't form, they get there. So we have no idea where they came from.
wouldn't form just if enough of it got in, like hit a certain spot.
You'd see like what you saw, like a moss covering on
Yeah.
but you wouldn't see like, I thought they were stones. When I reached in to grab one, I figured I was grabbing a stone and my fingers went right through it.
But we've got to sample out, and
Yeah.
we'll find out what it
Yeah.
is. And
So you don't know what the actual slime was that was?
No, because that was gone.
That's
but
what they
That's what they were
set up for
hoping to grab, but it was gone when we got there. whether it loosened up and went through when we, backfilled the tank, because when you
Yeah.
backfill, you're filling from the bottom up. And whether it broke it all up and then it, worked its way out, because it wasn't there the next time we opened it.
Yeah, but if it went back down to 0, that means it's working.
Right,
It should.
it's not the meteor's working as it's supposed to.
And we didn't use it all up ahead of
Right.
time. So then probably just operational on what goes in permanent.
Yeah, well, that's what they're trying to figure out, to make
Yeah.
sure that they get it correct for the two vessels when they get out there.
And have we heard anything from the contractor on the,
No, they're
Construction.
supposed, I think September 16th is the date I saw that he's supposed to mobilize.
okay. And you haven't heard anything from them about if they've gotten the submittals in or anything like that?
No, I haven't heard nothing on that.
All right, Walnut Street tank,
I haven't gotten back there yet, and I'm reaching the end, so I gotta stop burning some of my vacation time. I'll squeeze it in somewhere
Okay.
before it
but
gets
it's
cold.
it's still not worse than it was, it's the same,
No, it hasn't
same
gotten
as
any
it's been.
worse. Yep.
Okay,
Nothing.
nothing to report on the communications.
No committee.
How about the water bills from Easton? Did you?
All right,
have-
so we heard back from Badger. I went out to the woman let me in to grab the module
Yeah.
ID. So we did, so she entered it in the system and she called Badger to figure out. So since it's already a registered module, we can't register it. There's something about we might be able to open up our own thing and do it, or would be up to Easton to give us a limited capacity privilege into their account, and they just put up those accounts so that all we saw, we can't see.
Can't see
anything
the
else.
rest of this stuff, yeah.
So I'd rather try without bothering with them, since they seem very unfriendly.
So still being worked on,
Still being worked on, I'll push back, because I just read the email again, I meant to print it out. But I'll push back and see if we can do it ourselves. I'd rather do it that way.
and then we just bill them directly and we don't have to worry about it.
Right, and then Easton would send us the bill and we just pay it.
All right. And we've got a little while to figure it out before the next set of bills go out. so-
Yeah, yep.
All right. Okay, that's what was on the agenda. Something that has been brought up, I brought something in here, that's for the subdivision off Spring Street and
Yep.
the water mains and the sewer services crossing.
Oh, that's, yeah,
I went over to the planning board meeting that they had for it,
yep.
and they were already in the process of changing around what they were proposing.
I told them like possibly 6 inch, but like I said, I don't dictate the rules.
Yep.
It's a small subdivision, it's not gonna feed anything else because it's backing into wetlands. It didn't go anywhere, so it doesn't matter. The
Nope.
bigger the main that's not utilized, then you have storage capacity for dirt.
They've got a straight up 8-inch water main proposed.
Yep.
Our standards, do we call for 5 feet of cover?
We don't, no, we don't really call 4 feet or more.
Okay,
Not
ours
less
is
than
4 feet, okay, because they're calling for 4'6" minimum.
And that's fine for the most part. If the water's moving, it's not gonna freeze. I mean,
that-
watch, we'll have one of those,
Well, say that's basically a dead end.
yeah,
So-
it is a dead end.
They have done a little bit of moving. They've only got 3 lots that cross the main. One of them is gonna be way below, down at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Yep.
The other 2, they want to install them. One's above the main. The other one's gonna be below the main. They're proposing to put 13, not 13, number 3. They're proposing where they're crossing, vertical clearance of 18 inches or cement lined ductile for the crossing. basically the standard way of doing a sewer and water crossing, including pressure testing the water, the main,
Yeah.
so that they go over to make sure that they're gonna be watertight. We had seen a detail of a real sharp
Right.
dip being put in. They've removed that detail.
That's why I asked them if they went to the 6, does it help with that or alleviate it? That's, the only reason.
Wouldn't do it by much. I mean, but the thing is, if they're doing it that way, they're doing a chimney up out of the pipe.
Right.
So they can cut that and go under, or they can bring it up a little higher and stay over it
Right.
by, give them a little bit more clearance. Or they could put them, either way, if they're too tight, they could put the main a little deeper.
Yeah.
Because I just wasn't sure, because I couldn't remember what we had said in ours, if the 4 foot 6, if they were gonna have to lower it to meet our
Right.
requirements. But if they don't, I think we'll probably, they should be able to come across and miss it by a decent amount. I'm not even sure why at the bottom end, they wanna go over. I think that's gonna end up, if they work on it, they can bring it under the water main. But, so that was just for the note. As far as everything else, they're putting the hydrant on the,
I think there's one in the middle and then there's one down the end. It was hard to find.
actually, what they're showing on this right now, they're showing 3 of them.
All right.
I believe. There's one here.
I just looked to make sure that there was one at the end, because I saw in the meeting
That's
too, they were
what-
asking where to put hydrants, and I'm like, well, you really should be coming to the water department.
Actually, we might have to have them come. This might be,
I know they had a conflict today, that's the only reason they're not here.
yeah. I had actually talked to the engineer about something else and I mentioned it. But these are actually, those aren't hydrants. Those are the connections.
What's the distance, less than 500 feet? Try to keep within 500 feet?
Well, it's supposed to be, but then it becomes a maintenance nightmare for us.
Yeah, the subdivision road's 800 feet long.
Oh,
Yeah.
It goes way back in. They're actually not showing,
I thought there was one at the back of the lot on the plan I looked at.
it looks like, except this one, I think they're showing the gates at each lot.
Yeah.
And that looks like it's a gate, it just happens to be shown right along the back of the walk. So we might have to check, make sure there's a hydrant going in there.
Yeah.
I don't think they showed it on the profile. They're calling for a hydrant on the lot 2 and 3 line. But then if they're doing that, they're missing the gate box for lot 2. So there's something, might just have to be added in. But he had contacted you?
Yeah.
All right. Did he ask us to send him something, tell him what we want him to do, or?
No, that's when I kept pushing back on him, and that's when I included you, because I
Yep.
was like, don't change everything on what I'm saying. Come before the commissioners.
You can always make him change it back, it's just on CAD.
Yeah, I didn't want
Push
to,
buttons.
he's already done a lot of changes, so.
No, this place has been changed so many times, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because I think original plan was like 7 or 8 houses in there.
Yeah,
what's that now, 5?
it's gone back and forth, it's 5 now. The other thing, he's got a crossing that he's not really calling out what he's gonna do compared to the water main here is the force main. Because he's calling them out on the other ones, but on his profile, he doesn't call out. And that's a 2-inch, so he's gonna have to put that in the sleeve where that crosses. That's at what, station 150. So yeah, it's right around there. But if he contacted about anything about connection fee or anything like that?
No, I think I sent him at some point, because he talking, I knew they were moving along, so I'm like, all right, I sent him what the cost would be.
All right. But we haven't, yeah, they haven't officially contacted us on it.
No.
All right. I mean, all we can do is talk about this tonight anyway, because it wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah. I think they're still trying to get away, finish with the planning board, but
Well, I know, when I was,
problems having a quorum.
yeah, that's what happened when I was at the last meeting, but it sounded like the planning board was also concerned about what was going on with the piping in the road and how that was all gonna be handled, so. If I can find out the next time they're gonna be in there, I'll try to go to that planning board meeting also.
He was usually really good, so.
Yeah. No, he brought it up, and it was an oddball detail, and, there's no need for that.
Yep,
They can, something that long, they can either depress the pipe a little bit deeper
yeah,
to get the clearance they need.
right, just that dive in the minute you can make your connection.
Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about it. We don't want fittings in there, and we don't want sharp deflections on the pipe. All right. That kills the agenda, and the first thing that was off the agenda, anybody have something else they want to bring up tonight? To be discussed?
Nope.
And not voted on?
All right, so
Well, Wayne, what do you got?
the OCPC is asked, so they've got, I couldn't attend the last one because I had a dentist appointment, but they're asking if we were to take water, how much water would we want?
Would depend on whose
I know,
water it was,
it's-
how our sources were working.
So the way it's playing out, MWRA does not come anywhere near us, and they don't
Yeah.
want to take over Aquarian. So it'd either be Aquarian direct or Brockton buying Aquarian out and then
Yeah.
dealing with Brockton. Brockton's a lot easier to deal with than the other people we're trying to deal with. But, I mentioned the fact that, what would they want fees and others,
Well, that's honestly similar, what was going on, and it hasn't met in a while, but the other group there that was Environmental Partners, I think it
Yeah.
was, that was doing the one, and they kind of were focusing around Brockton
Right.
as well. And if something were to happen with our sampling, that suddenly we were gonna have to put a surface water plant at Manley Street.
Yep,
It would have, I think we could seriously say we'd have to look at replacing that possibly with water
right,
from them, even though that gets us into a whole bunch of issues of mixing different
Yeah.
qualities, different treatment types. In that case, we could kind of say, well, if we lose a source for some reason, this is how much we might be looking to take, because
Right.
we don't really have alternates to go looking for at
right,
this point. But to be able to give them like a hard and fast number is kind of tough. And I
right,
think Brockton would like to do it because that would give them the ability to
right, if they could get enough people to
spill
sign
the
up.
aquarium water
What
off.
can they afford to, do they present a number, what they would like to sell? I mean,
No, they haven't said it, well, Aquarian isn't selling to anybody, I don't think. I think it
Just what Brockton takes and wastes.
right, yeah, because they have to be, within 24 hours, they have to be able to ramp up, I think.
yeah, but they do that once a month.
No, I think they have to be 24-hour ready all the time.
But they don't run it up to that.
Right, no, they're
I think
running
they do an
whatever.
annual test or something that they have to show they can get close.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just know that if they're running, it's a reverse osmosis plant, it's very expensive to run.
No, I had asked at one point, well, actually a while ago, we had asked Tater and Howard and, what's her name, Jen Raza,
Yeah,
the co-president, whatever, they did come back, and our costs, as we're running with a proposed treatment and such,
right,
should still be cheaper than purchasing the water
right,
from Aquarian, at the Aquarian rates
Yeah.
specifically. They never said at this other stuff what kind of rates they'd be looking to sell if it was like, if we were to try to do something with Brockton.
yeah,
But I think it's something we have to kind of keep in the back of our mind is,
Just in case.
so at least in staying engaged in these processes, just in case something did come up and we actually had to.
yeah,
Or just the rules changed enough, like, to drop stuff down again, that now we'd be faced with another big upgrade. So,
right,
but they're just looking for, how much water would you want?
Yeah,
How much you wanna give us for free?
Right.
right.
I mean, and again, that other problem around here, we don't have any real good connection spots to anybody right now.
No, we
It
used
all
to be, right, everybody cut free. East Bridgewater cut us free, Brockton cut us free. Like, everybody went around and cut us free.
But could you make the reconnections? I know there's one up by, what, Copeland Street, and another one by, is it
Yeah,
Manners?
well, all the vaults are gone, so now you've gotta put in, you've gotta drop a vault and
Meter,
meters, check
possibly,
valves.
possibly adjust, something to do, adjust the pressure with a PRV or a
Right.
control valve. They never put the vault in down at the end of Walnut when Aquarium went
Yeah.
by, so
Right.
that would, and that'd probably require all new piping coming in, because Walnut's got, that's not a big
Yeah,
pipe.
no,
in
that's a
Walnut.
small,
You'd probably want to replace a whole bunch of other piping if you tried to put Copeland Street back in service and take water that way.
yeah.
And were the other places, Easton, would there be any place, or?
Mm, they're not really close to us either. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, anything you do to connect looks like it'd cost a bunch of
Right.
money for pipe besides.
the time would have been when they redid the bridge and when they redid the intersection at 138, because you could have tapped in and run a pipe up and then just left it sitting beyond the paved areas. But they did.
So realistically, you're talking millions of dollars in piping.
Oh, yeah,
Compared to millions of dollars in treatment.
Right.
That uses our own system. So I think there's not a lot of potential. But we want to definitely keep engaged in that, and if, as environmental partners ask, does anything else, continue to go to those, and we'll bring back information.
so on the back of that, I'll speak of this morning.
Yeah,
So as of this morning, we had Manley Street and one well.
Yeah.
Everything else was dead electrically. So I ran around all day troubleshooting, everything's back up, it's not correct, because I'm waiting on the electrician to appear to.
generators didn't come on?
It's not that, it's so electrically, for some reason, well 4 got called for, but it wouldn't engage. You could run it by hand, but the SCADA system would, you could see the SCADA system calling it, but it wouldn't turn on. Norman Ave went down on Saturday, and that went out electrically also. So that one, we believe the VFD is dead, but until he comes in, I mean, it lights up, so it just might be a programming thing, but for some weird reason, right now, we're bypassing the VFD and running at 100%. We're running off the SCADA system. When I had Mike Leary come in, he walked out to well 4 and just flicked it over to automatic, and it turned on, and I said, you don't know how many times we did that this morning. So when you don't have it, it's like taking your car to the mechanic. When you can't get it to reproduce the problem, and you're just worried it's gonna happen again. So at least Norman Ave, the electrician will come when he frees up.
Any possible idea he gave you on when that might be?
He said he has a guy on Rainham, and he might free up tomorrow in the early afternoon.
All right, but in the meantime, we're running,
We're running.
we're keeping the tanks full.
Yeah, they should be cycling off shortly. But they didn't, when we lost Norman Ave on Saturday, they didn't shut down until sometime Monday night.
But there's no issues as far as drawing the wells down too far, or,
No, well, when they run at 100%, they run harder than we want. Right now, Norman Ave is running about 7 feet above the well.
Yeah.
We were running it slower because it has more iron manganese, so we were trying to prevent, problems with colored water.
you have to do it, you have to keep the water going in.
Right,
And there's no, you either run that 100% or 0 if the
yeah,
VFD's
that's
down.
the way it is.
And how his demand been? Has it been high?
Yeah, because we haven't had any rain there. Yeah, everybody wants their grass to stay green.
What about grass?
I mean, my garden is dying, let it go.
I say, I don't want my lawn to stay green.
No.
I want to be able to stop cutting my lawn.
Yeah, I haven't,
It's not working out that well.
no, this has been like last summer, it was kind of brutal. And then the new hire, we haven't posted for hiring anywhere except internally.
Yeah.
And nobody's mentioned that they want anything to do with it, but I don't know if you guys realize we seem to have an issue retaining people. it's kinda getting tiring training people and,
So he went for a boost in title and pay.
Title is the big thing.
well, the title, I don't know if he really wanted the title, but our health benefits cost a fortune, that was one of his complaints. And the pay was, you know, minor to it, but also another complaint. Cause everybody else is not, we're still connected with a small consortium, or however you'd say it, but we're an independent amongst other towns, so our health rates are expensive. Everybody else has jumped over to the state's GIC or whatever it's called, which is, it's a huge savings.
But that's all town employees, not just us.
It's everybody, so it requires all the unions to speak to change that. But everybody who comes, the minute they get there, see their first paycheck with the health benefits gouged out of it, they start squawking.
Well, that can't get, the only way that can get changed is through the negotiations.
Right, that's
It's
through
gotta- And that's gotta
negotiations.
go through all
Yes,
scheduling that, when that comes up next.
well, you can't, because I've tried that before, and you get fight back from somewhere that says, oh, you need everybody to do that.
Well, that means we need to start working on getting that planned for soon, so when the time comes, we have everybody on board. I mean, the union should be in favor of it if it cuts down
Right.
what comes out of their checks.
Yeah, we'll see.
So where do we stand now? Where can we
Well,
advertise that position to?
so I can post it out
Yeah.
to Mass Waterworks, I believe that's free.
Yeah.
And then I hate going out to the other thing that she posted on, because all we get is,
Start at Mass Waterworks first, see what we get. That's
Yeah.
all. If we have to, we'll go to other places. But I mean, that'd be ideal to get somebody that's least involved
right,
through there to begin with.
yeah,
And yeah, but unfortunately, there's not really much we can do about the
no.
insurance unless we can get
Well, the whole town's
the
affected.
whole town on board.
Yeah. But are the wages comparable to the surrounding towns?
We're a little low, we're close, but we're lower. Like even Avon came up before.
But even if we come up above, if we raise it somewhat, then we're still gonna have that issue.
Insurance.
Insurance is
Yeah,
probably gonna take a
right.
bigger bite than,
Yeah,
no, because recruiting and retention is an issue, and it's gonna be more important to be able to keep people on as this place gets more and more complicated
right,
with the stuff that has to be taken care of. And we're still running under our full budgeted number of positions, right?
yeah,
There's still an extra piece we
we
could
have
be
2
filling.
open spots.
Yeah. So, no, start advertising. If we didn't get anybody internal, we didn't get anybody internal.
All right.
Yep.
After that, I don't have anything more.
No more?
I don't have anything,
Anything more?
no, just the next meeting is 16th?
16th.
September 16th.
Here at 5 o'clock. Put it in now. We'll see if we can get Kerry or Kelly here,
Yeah.
so you don't have to try to take notes and. Right, entertain a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Aye.